Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you could play along with a song called Bound To by Kanye West. And this would be extremely challenging because there are a lot of places actually where it's almost like a cool little old school loop has gotten chopped up in different places and then restrewn together. So I'm kind of working this as kind of like, here's the loop, but you may come in different places. And then we got our main chorus part that kind of comes in. But the main loop starts around a C major chord and it sounds slightly out of tune. So I don't know, I'm thinking more like if you wanted to play this out, this is how I would do it. So I would work around a C major chord when you start. When we play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the first fret, second finger on the D string second fret, and third finger on the A string on the third fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord. And then from the C, we go into a D major chord. We play D major. First finger goes to the G string on the second fret, second finger on the high E string on the second fret, and third finger on the B string on the third fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord. It sounds really, really happy. And then from the D, we go into an E minor chord. When we play E minor, first finger goes to the A on the second fret, second finger on the D string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then through that loop, or at least the entire thing, you'd have C, D, E minor. But then we go back to D, and then we go to a G major chord when we play G major. First finger goes to the A on the second fret, second finger goes to the low E string on the third fret, and third finger goes to the high E string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord. But then you'll kind of hear where that G major comes back in with kind of an A string for the bass. That's called a G/B. And then from the G, we're going back to C. And then our C, D, E minor. So it's a little weird because through the tune, this is kind of the whole loop that gets cut up in different places. Is you got kind of the C, D, E minor, C, D, E minor, and then the D, G, G/B, C, C, D, E minor. Now a lot of times with a song like this though, to kind of make it more interesting, I like adding something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So you take the C and just tried that a lot, you have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So we're going to apply that to kind of that main idea of the verse chorus, or the verse. We kind of work, a lot of the chords kind of half, so you may want to do just kind of down, down, up on those chords. Like that C and D at the beginning kind of get half. And then we do that C down, down, D down, down, D minor, down, down, up, down, and D, down, up, G, down, G/B, down, C, down, C, down, D, down, D minor, down, down. Now another strum pattern that I think about using though is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that beat into two parts with our down, down, up, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that beat into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is the long down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the C and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4s. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up. So on those halving chords, you may want to do just the down, down, down. So we tried it that way. You'd have C, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, D minor, down, down, up, down, down. kind of works a lot around bass notes. You could start with the open A, and then second on the A, and then open E, and then we go back to, or then we go to 4th fret on the low E string, and then open A, and then back to 4th fret on the low E string, and then 2nd fret on the A string. And if you wanted to on this part, it might be kind of cool to back this up with power chords. And what a power chord is where you play the root and the 5th of a chord. So for the A that we kind of start on, you may want to kind of do just the open A and the D string on the 2nd fret. That sounds an A5 power chord. And then you might want to go to 2nd fret on the A string, and then 3rd finger on the D string on the 4th fret for a B5 power chord. And then if you play the open E with just the 2nd fret on the A string, that sounds like an E5 power chord. And then from there, actually, you could go to that 4th fret on the low E string and do 3rd finger on the A string 6th fret, and those two notes together sound a G sharp 5. And if you wanted to, you could even kind of take that shape and just slide it over 1 fret, 5th and 7th, and that's another way you could play your A5. And if you take that shape and slide it over 2 frets, the 7th and 9th, that's another way you could play the B5. So you might want to start with those if you wanted to. You could kind of do the A5, B5, E5, G sharp 5, A5, G sharp 5, B5. Now if you wanted to back those up with chords though, you could start on the A major chord. And when you play A major, first finger goes the D on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord. That sounds really, really happy. And then we can go to a B7 chord, which sounds really nasty. Where you can do 1st finger on the D string 1st fret, 2nd finger on the A string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the G string 2nd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a B7 chord. It sounds really nasty. And then we can go to an E major chord. When we play E major, first finger goes to the G on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the A string on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the D string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the E, we'd be going to a G sharp minor, where you do your first finger across the entire 4th fret, 3rd finger on the A string on the 6th fret, pinky on the D string on the 6th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G sharp minor chord. And then from the G sharp minor, we'd be going back to A. And if you wanted to, if you're digging on the bar shapes, you could go to 5th fret for a bar, 2nd finger on the G string, the 6th fret, 3rd finger on the A 7th fret, and the pinky on the D string on the 7th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord. And then you can kind of take that and go back to G sharp minor, and then we can slide that all the way to 7th fret and kind of do that same shape for a B major. If you're kind of digging on that. So now I got 7th fret bar, 2nd finger on the G string 8th fret, 3rd finger on the 9th fret on the A, pinky on the D string on the 9th. So you might want to kind of play around with that. So kind of have the A, B, E major, and then G sharp minor, A, G sharp minor, B major. And if you wanted to, you could use the strum patterns through that too. And we could do it with kind of a down, down, up, up, down, up. And some of our chords kind of have kind of like our main verse part. Where we got A, down, up, B7, down, down, up, E, down, down, up, down, G sharp minor, down, up, A, down, up, G sharp minor, B, A, B, E major, G sharp minor, A, G sharp minor, B. Or if you're digging on the 16th pattern, you could have A, down, down, up, B, down, down, up, B major, G sharp minor, A, G sharp minor, B. And then we basically be repeating that until we go back into kind of variations on our main loop. Now something else I think about adding to the song though is bass notes, and a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, up, down, up, you could throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the C you'd have the A for the bass, on the D you'd have the D for the bass, on the E minor you'd have the low E for the bass, and on the G chord you'd have the low E for the bass, unless it's the G/B, in which case you may want to use the A string for the bass. And then when we get to our A major, you'd have the A for the bass, E7 would have the A for the bass, and the E major would have the low E for the bass. Unless you're using the bar shapes, in which case all your basses will be on the low E for the B. So if we try to kind of our main verse with kind of bass notes, you could do it with a C, down, D with the D bass, down, E minor, low E bass, down, up, C try to adding basses to our 16th pattern. You have C with an A bass, down, down, B with an E bass, down, down, E minor low E bass, down, 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 C with an A bass, B with a D bass, E minor low E bass, E with a D bass, G with low E bass, G/B, C, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, E minor low E bass. And then basically we'd be repeating that and kind of varying that and cutting that up into sections until we hit our chorus part. And if we wanted to, we could add basses to that, and you could try that with the bass down, up, and have A with an A bass, B7 with an A bass, E with low E bass, G sharp minor low E bass, A with an A bass, G sharp minor low E bass, B with an A bass, or A, B, E, G sharp minor, A, G sharp minor, B. Or if you're digging on the 16th pattern, you have A, B7, major, G sharp minor, A, G sharp minor, B. Or if you wanted to, you can kind of mix it up a little bit too. Or if you know other licks around these chords, that might be kind of a cool thing to kind of play around with. You know, so you can take this lesson and kind of mix it up too. You know. Feel free to adjust this to your skill level. Back into our main verse. So you could do the same kind of thing with that if you want to kind of mix it up a little bit, or if you know the voicings for these chords. You know, feel free to kind of add it in and kind of make it your own. Challenging part actually will be kind of figuring out how you're going to work that loop and how you're going to mix it up. So that might be something to kind of play around with too. Like at the very, very beginning, you're really just kind of looping just that first little bit. You know, kind of mixing it up. So it's a little weird because that first part of the loop gets used in different ways through the tune. But that's the basics of how you could kind of strum along with bound to, or try and follow the recording, or figure out a way that you could kind of cover it yourself. So good luck!